G'day Overtakers. This week we're heading out to Greg's place to Up17 Garage and we're going to check out Greg's Charger.
Yeah, and I think a few of the other young fellas have got a couple of cars out there for us to have a look at as well. But yeah, predominantly going to check out the Charger, fresh engine build in there, and he's had it for a while.
And maybe some other things going on there as well, so
yeah,
you'll have to wait and see.
In the meantime, make sure you just drop down the bottom there, hit like, hit subscribe, so we can keep bringing these videos to you every week.
And check out the description for some links for some merch.
Yeah.
It's coming into winter. How good's a jumper right now? These things are warm as.
Yeah, definitely need one of these. And don't forget the binder. Get on those car care products. Help support the show.
Well, without further ado, let's go chat to Greg.
G'day Greg, I'm appreciative that you've let us come out here today to Up17 Garage. Let's talk about that. We've got a couple of cars out here today and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We started the garage a couple of years ago when one of the boys that used to come around here, we used to call him Boy Child Number 3.
Yep.
Unfortunately he passed away, so all the guys got together in his honour and started up the garage, and they used to just come around here and pretty much work on their cars, and it just grew from there.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It's just mates getting together,
Yep.
helping each other out, and we were talking about it before, and so you'd have one car on the hoist and everyone would sort of just jump in and help out.
Yeah, there was most weekends there'd be 10, 15 cars here, and a couple of cars would be working on at a time, everyone helping each other out, and a bit of a healing process and working on cars and making horsepower, experimenting and breaking lots of things and fixing lots of things. It was a lot of fun.
Because a bit of everything too, right?
Yeah,
so, wide variety from 4Bs to...
Yeah, lifting missing patrols, engine swaps, to turboing cars that shouldn't be turboed.
Here we go. Best friends coming to have a chat as well.
Horse riding, to dogs, to everything. Yeah, bonfires, parties, everything.
Yeah, and of course, you've also been in cars for quite some time yourself.
Yeah.
Got a couple of your own here, or family has. Mate, but we specifically come out here to check out the Charger here today, and let's talk about this one. You've had it for how long now?
Be just over 10 years now.
Yep.
I reckon, yeah.
And this started not looking anything like this, right?
No. I bought it as just a shell. Even the steering wasn't connected. The interior was done, but not in. The engine was literally a basket case. It came in a big cane basket. And we slowly put it together. We gave ourselves a 12-month plan because the restoration takes a long time, but we had it on the road in 6 months. And
wow.
We were just so keen to get it on the road, so yeah.
And it was a good buy, like it was a good body and everything like that.
Yeah,
that you ended up with,
yeah.
And now the motor in there's a couple of motors over the time, hasn't there? So I guess, what'd you start with in there? What was the one in the basket?
It was a 360 Magnum,
yep.
Which is the Australian 360 version, but it's an American motor, and it's just a slightly updated version of the 360, but pretty much the same thing. Roller cam, a few little differences, but it was that, and we put that in, and that was just NA to start with.
Yep.
And then as the boys all got older and they became teenagers and they introduced me to Boost, I suddenly found that you could make an average NA engine way more powerful by just introducing a bit of forced induction, and we just learnt down here in the shed from experimenting and reading and YouTube and watching shows like this, and and just
checking out what other people have done, and then go from there.
Up on horsepower, and
So now you've had a few different turbos on here as well, haven't you? So, which created a few experiences.
Sure did, yeah.
Maybe we should. There's a good story there.
Yeah. We started off with a eBay cheapie, GT42, and had great success with that, but it didn't last long. The turbo fell apart, and the housing went down the exhaust and broke the O2 sensor off, and so we replaced it with a GT40 Garrett, and we went out on a cold night to test it out for its very first drive.
Yeah.
Grand final weekend it was, and we went out on the highway and boosted it up to check it out, and it just hit boost instantly, broke traction, and went into the guardrail at 100k an hour. So took the front end of the car off, and
wasn't the best night.
It wasn't a good night that night. No.
Oh wow! So you learnt the difference in boost between those two real quick.
Discovered that little turbos boost very fast compared to big turbos. So it's all been a learning process. Yeah.
Now let's talk about. Before we talk about what you got in there now, you've done a few runs in the old combo on the track and stuff as well. So you love getting out to Willowbank and putting cars on track as well. Yep. Whether it be laps or whether it be on the drag strip, but
both,
you've got some good times down the drag strip in this as well, haven't you? So
when it was NA, we were running in the 13s,
nice.
And then we put a little supercharger on it, and we started running in the mid 11s. Then we put a turbo on it, and we started running high 10s.
Yep.
And then the last engine that we had in there, we were ready to build our new engine, the forged engine. So we started pushing it a little bit down the track, and eventually it lasted a lot longer than we thought. It lasted 2 years, and eventually it cracked the top of a piston. So we were running on 7 cylinders down the drags, and we decided, well, why not? We'll wind up the boost a little bit and push it on 7 cylinders, and we ended up running a 10.2, got kicked off the track, and got a letter telling us not to come back.
On 7 cylinders?
Yeah, so it was a bit of fun, and so now it's got a forged engine.
Yeah. So now this is a brand new combo. You've just got this off the dyno this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So haven't done a lot of time in this yet. So, but it's putting down fairly good horsepower already, isn't it? So,
it's got a better suited turbo to it now. It's stroked out. It's a 408 stroker, forged engine. It's got about spring pressures around 7 psi, and it's pushing out nearly 600. 7 psi, and we wound it up a little bit to about 11 psi from memory, and it was around the 700 horsepower.
Okay. And what size turbo is that on there now?
It's about the same size as a GT47.
Right, there you go. Okay, so it sounds like a pretty good combo.
Yeah, it's capable of doing a lot more horsepower, but we only run 10.5 in it because we don't want to put cages in it, and we drive it on the street pretty much every week. It's out every weekend.
Yep.
The kids drive it. It's a fun car, so we don't want to not be able to drive it on the street.
Yeah. That's cool, and everyone in the family gets to take your cars out. I see when I see your cars out, you've got to have a look to see who's driving.
Yeah,
it could be anyone.
Could be anyone driving them. Yeah,
that's cool, and it's a family thing. So I guess that's part of the Up17 Garage and that as well. But
that's right.
But your whole family have got a passion for cars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my son Joel, he had 17 cars in his first 12 months of his licence. He rode a couple off and seized a few engines in a few of them. And my other son James, he's more of a JDM guy, so his first car was a Supra.
Yeah.
And now he's got a WRX, and yeah, so the whole family's right into the cars. And we've got a communal car that we built from leftover pieces from all the other cars. It's a Chrysler Centura.
And people might notice that one. You've had Tyler out on the track at Brekkie Laps in that as well. There's a couple of shots of that. We might put a link to that video there somewhere as well for anyone who wants to check out. We might come back and have a chat about that car as well.
Sure.
But that's pretty cool. That's come out of all the bits and pieces, right? That.
Yeah, leftover bits and pieces.
And that turns a few heads because it's a bit of a sleeper.
It is, yeah.
So that's very cool. Now, so obviously, you've given the family a passion in cars.
Yeah.
But where did it start for you?
Started when I was an apprentice. I just got into the old school muscle just through another tradesman.
Yep.
And he took me under his wing, and we spent every weekend at his house working on cars. And it's pretty much what I've ended up doing as well here. Just passing on a bit of knowledge and just keeping it fun and trying to keep it on the track rather than off the street a little bit. And it's something that you can enjoy no matter what age. Most of the guys around here are all late teens, early 20s, and I'm a lot older than that, but we've still got all that in common. Yeah, just a little bit.
We're close to that. It brings everyone together. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
So, and now, what about the specific love for all things Mopar?
Yeah, I think that just started. I got that from the tradesman that taught me. He was right into Valiants, and my second car was a Charger.
Yep.
And we did that up, and I sold it to buy an engagement ring, all for me. And so it took a long time for me to get one back, but it came back just at the right time. It came back when the kids were young and they grew into it, and it became a whole family sport and something me and the boys can do. If the boys are off racing, I always go with them.
Yeah.
They got car full of people. It's a good environment.
Yeah, that's cool. And is there any more plans for this, or have you're there where you want it now, or is there anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely there now for now.
Yep.
I had some surgery on my back, so I've taken the foot off the pedal a little bit around here, and the boys are sort of doing their own cars now and helping each other out.
The back injury made it a bit hard to do the engine, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up in hospital a few times, a month and a half on my back in hospital, so a lot of the boys helped with some of the work, and it's fast, it looks nice, and it's still streetable, so it's going to be like that for a little while now.
Yeah. And now it gets out, obviously you like to get out and street, as you said.
Yeah.
What's it like cruising with this?
It's awesome. It's because it's a boosted car. When you're not on boost, it just idles like a V8 with a mild cam.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just fine. It doesn't overheat. You can close the Varix on the exhaust, and it's even quiet. It's police friendly.
Yep.
And when you go to the track, you open up the exhaust and just unleash hell.
Yeah, that's cool. And I guess the Centura, that was the idea of that as well. You had that on supercharged, didn't you? And then changed it to boost.
Yeah, changed that over.
Yep.
The Centura...
changed it to turbo, not changed it to boost. All boosted, but yeah.
Yeah, did you want to know a bit more about the Centura?
Yeah. We'll just mention it, so
yeah.
It might be a teaser for later on.
Yeah, it just came about. The Charger nearly got put into the wall, so we bought the Centura, which is a much cheaper car, and made it just as fast, but a lot of people can jump in it and drive it, and it's been bitten by horses and spun off the track, and it's not a big concern because it's not an expensive fix.
Yep.
And it's still very fast, so it's a nice car for other people to jump in and drive.
That's pretty cool. So, I guess the other question I haven't asked, and it's you did mention that you had a Charger early on in younger days and sold that, but what was your first car?
Chrysler Sigma.
Oh, so another one.
Yeah, Chrysler Sigma, and it got written off. Someone hit me from behind and pushed the tail lights up to the back seat.
Wow.
And their seat ripped out, and they hit the steering wheel, and yeah, it was a pretty bad crash. And so
amazing, they're even making a comeback these days.
Yeah,
people, there's V8 conversions for them.
Yeah, V8s, and the people are turboing them as well, and
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
But, mate, that is cool, and I appreciate you letting us come out here and get some shots of this and telling us the story. It's a cool story. I know many people know this car, know you guys, see you getting around cruising, and you see this anywhere. Out on track, you can see it pulling up out at Furby's.
Yep.
Amongst the JDM cars, amongst anything. So, and it's just a matter of just getting out there. You guys just enjoy it, and I love that. And mate, thank you for having us out here today.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
Cool. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you hit down below, hit that like button, subscribe. We're going to keep bringing you more and more cars every week. Hope you enjoy it. See you in the next one.